Look at how beautiful this is out here. I just came out here to get gas. They have a casino and a gas station. That's the gas station right behind us here. And whenever I get gas out here, which is quite often, I like to stop out here in the parking lot. I guess this is the parking lot for the motel that they have here. Apparently it's pretty nice. I've never actually gone into the casino or the motel, but I just enjoy taking a few minutes and looking at this view out here. As I'm standing here looking at the view, I thought it'd be nice to have a cup of coffee and maybe make a little snack. So I have made coffee, but let's now make a snack. I think I'll make some popcorn. I really like finding spots like this that are nice and quiet and peaceful and beautiful outside. I can open up my doors and have a pretty view while I'm making coffee and a snack. So let's get to that. I'm gonna make some popcorn, which is slightly unusual for me. So I've got this popcorn here. This is some heirloom popcorn. It's this blue or purple popcorn. And you can see it's been hanging around for a while. It does have a Best Buy date on it, 10/20/25. What year is it? I think we're fine with this, but obviously I need to eat this because popcorn doesn't have that long of a shelf life. I didn't know that until kind of more recently when I just started making popcorn. And making popcorn, of course, is really easy. And for a long time, of course, a lot of people just made microwave popcorn. I guess they still do. But I found that it's actually really easy to make popcorn, a lot more easy than you would really believe. I have a propane stove, so I'm going to make the popcorn right on this. So for ingredients, we need the popcorn, of course, and for really good popcorn, we need some good butter, so that's what I've got here. Now, for years, I didn't eat popcorn, and I'm talking a lot of years. I didn't like the taste of it, the texture of it, the smell of it, nothing. I didn't want anything to do with popcorn. But last year, for some reason, I just got a craving for it. I was really more a craving for something crunchy and salty. And I thought if I have popcorn on hand, I wouldn't have to run to the store and buy a bag of chips whenever I wanted something salty and crunchy. So that's how I started eating popcorn again. And for some reason now I like it. Go figure. But I did have to do a little bit of research on how to pop my own popcorn, because the last time I knew about how to make popcorn, it was just take a bag, throw it in the microwave, and hit start. Now I don't have room for microwave. Don't have a way to power a microwave. I don't have any way to, use a microwave. So I'm just going to make popcorn in a pan. So I have this little pan with a lid, of course. This is about a 3-quart pan, and it's perfect size for me because this is about as much popcorn that I want to eat in one sitting. But before we get to popping our corn, I want to melt the butter, which is the more important ingredient, I think. So I'm just going to melt the butter in the bowl that I'm going to eat the popcorn out of. And I'm doing this just because I have limited amounts of cookware and bowls and things. And so I just have found this is the easiest way for me to do this. So just melt the tiniest amount of butter here. Is that enough? I probably need a little bit more. We're making 3 quarts. Maybe that's good. And then I'll leave the butter out because we will need a little bit more of that when we go to pop our popcorn. So I'll just turn on my stove here, and I'm just going to melt the butter just for a few seconds over very low heat. Okay, there we go. That's all melted, and I did not add any more butter in here. That's as much as I put in. I didn't chop any more off the block and add some more in because it looked like I didn't melt enough to begin with. So now we get to the only tricky part of doing stovetop popcorn. That is measuring out the correct amount of uncooked popcorn kernels to the pan that we're using. So this is a 3-quart pan, so I found that I can only go as much as 1/3 of a cup of popcorn. Otherwise I have a big mess. I found that out the hard way, actually. One day I thought, I'm just going to add some extra popcorn kernels because I'm sitting around and enjoying the day outside, and thought I'd like to have a little more to eat and snack on, and that ended up being a very messy mistake because I had popped corn going everywhere out of my pan. So now I make sure I just measure out the correct amounts, which is, of course, 1/3 of a cup. So it'll be different for whatever pan that you're deciding to use. I happen to have this weird little measuring cup. They call this a metric wonder cup, and I've had this for years. I've had this for probably at least 20 years. It's getting to be quite difficult to read the markings on it, so I think that's 1/3 of a cup, and if not, we'll have something funny to laugh at once the popping gets happening. Anyway, let me add a little more butter to the pan, because we are going to need some fat in the pan. And this is where I kind of diverged off of the research I did when I was trying to figure out how to do stovetop popcorn. Everybody said that you had to use an oil of some kind that was a high heat oil, or alternatively some ghee or clarified butter. And so I did buy some ghee, which is just clarified butter and ghee are pretty much the same thing. They're just butter that has been heated up, and they remove the solids out of it, and you just have the butter fat. So it has a real high smoke point, and it has a little bit of a butter flavor, so it works pretty good. But ghee and clarified butter are very expensive, and I've found that just regular old butter works just fine, so that's what I use now. So since I'm using regular butter, I like to do about medium on the heat, maybe medium low on the heat. And I'm gonna go in with our popcorn, and I've got enough butter to coat all the popcorn kernels, and give this a little shake around to make sure all the popcorn is covered in butter. And I'd like to let this sit for just a minute to let any of the water from the butter to kind of burn off a little bit. And then once that happens, I'll go ahead and put the cover on this. And at this point, I just shake this a little bit. Just every minute or so, I give it a little shake just to make sure the heat is getting to all the popcorn kernels in there. Don't have to shake it all the time. It's not like those stovetop things that they used to do. What were those called? I don't know, Jiffy Pop. It's not like doing Jiffy Pop where you got to shake it the whole time, but you do have to shake it just a little bit from time to time. And I need to get my oven mitt. So obviously this does get hot, so you do have to be careful not to burn yourself. I should say that just for safety's sake. But this happens really quickly. Even on a kind of medium-low heat, it starts popping pretty quick. And you just shake it around a little bit from now and then until you stop hearing lots of pops going on. So it's popping pretty good now. It'll probably just take another couple of minutes. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah. I think maybe I wasn't quite accurate on my metric wonder cup here. It's not such a wonder anymore. I could have popped a little bit more, but oh well. It's just me eating this, so that's plenty for me. Now I'm gonna take my melted butter here, and I'll just drizzle it on top of the popcorn, and then I'll dump the popcorn out of the bowl here, using my mitt, of course, or out of my pan here, back into the bowl. And then we do have a third ingredient we need, which is salt. I use this pink salt, Himalayan salt, and it's probably not ideal for popcorn. I think they sell actually popcorn salt, that's what they call it, and it's really finely ground, but I can't really be bothered to buy an extra ingredient just for popcorn. Although I do get a craving for popcorn. I eat it quite a bit from time to time. So we'll just add a little bit of salt in here, maybe a little more than that. To me, the great thing about popcorn is not the popcorn itself, but the butter and the salt. I like the crunch of it too, but I'm not crazy about the taste of the popcorn itself. I just really like the butter and the salt. Now I did get a little bit of scorching in here, just to be completely honest. That's just because I'm doing multiple things at one time, talking and everything else. But if you mind your heat, you're not going to get any scorching like that. But as you can see, this popcorn is pretty good. There's just a few uncooked popcorn kernels in there. Most of it's popped up really nicely. So there we have it, popcorn. Such a perfect little easy snack. easy to make, easy to pop up. Even if you don't have a microwave, you can just make it on your stovetop. Even if you live in a van, see, there's really no reason not to be eating popcorn. And I think about this a lot because I didn't eat popcorn for years and years and years. Decades and decades, actually, would be a little more accurate. The great thing about popcorn, too, is it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. A tiny little bag pops up into quite a big amount of something to snack on. So there's a whole another reason to keep some around. That's why I've been eating quite a bit of it lately. And I'm glad that I have it here today. On such a beautiful day, I can just sit back and enjoy this perfect weather, this perfect scenery, and have my favorite thing to snack on, something crunchy and salty and buttery. Can you see those cows off there in the distance up on the hill? I may have to zoom in to give you a better look at them. This area is known for producing really good dairy. In fact, there's a dairy just down the hill from us on the other side of the highway. Just a number of great dairies in this area. And one of the great things about this area is just beautiful, and lots and lots of farms around here. We are we're just outside of the town of Lolita, which is just a few miles south of Eureka. And I drive out here just to get gas. This area here is actually part of the Bear River tribe. So this is tribal land out here, but that's why the gas is quite a bit cheaper, and that's why I drive out here. Gas here at Bear River is about $1 less than it is in Eureka, which is just a few miles away. So for me, it makes sense to drive out here to fill up. And so that's why I came out, to fill up, getting cheap gas. Although it's not cheap, of course, but $1 less is probably well worth the few miles drive. And then of course I can get an excuse to spend just sitting out here enjoying the view, which is something I do quite often, at least every time I get gas, which is not really often enough because I'd like to come out here more often to get to the view. But then again, I don't really want to come out here to buy more gas, being that gas is expensive. This is such a beautiful area out here. It's a little hazy today, and there's some clouds too, but normally you can get just a faint glimpse of the Pacific Ocean right out there. We're looking out toward the little town of Ferndale, and then this mountain range is kind of at the center of the frame now, is the Lost Coast, they call that. And it's a rugged area out there that is just the most beautiful place I've ever been to. I've been out there a number of times, but haven't gotten far out and far into the Lost Coast. It's pretty rugged, and the roads out there are kind of gnarly, so I don't really go too far out there yet. Although I'm thinking about it, it would be nice to get out and get a little bit deeper into the Lost Coast and get to see a little bit more of it now that I have a more reliable vehicle. And then the other thing we can see down here somewhere is Fern Bridge. It's a little historic bridge. I think that's it right there. Yeah, that's it right there. Just barely see it there. That goes over the Eel River. So lots and lots of things to look at out here. Just lots and lots of views to take in. Years and years ago, when I was a little kid, I got a popcorn kernel stuck in the back of my throat, and I tried everything to dislodge it, to no avail, until finally my dad got back in there with some long tweezers and had to pluck it out. That one event made popcorn just incredibly undesirable to me, to the point where I didn't like anything about it. So it's just been the last few months that I've been eating popcorn again. And it cracks me up a little bit because I used to go help a friend that did office cleaning at night. And the whole office, I guess there were 2 or 3 of them that we went to, and all of them smelled like stale popcorn and stale coffee. And it just used to drive me crazy. The whole smell of those two things just, I did not like at all. And back then, I didn't drink coffee. I wasn't a coffee drinker. I was probably in my early 20s at the time. And I had no use for coffee back then. People would say, drink a cup of coffee in the morning, it'll wake you up. It never did. So I never found any use for coffee. And most of the coffee I tried was just at a gas station anyway. And so never liked the taste of it. So yeah, it is kind of funny that now I am sitting here eating popcorn and drinking coffee. Of course, this popcorn's maybe a little bit better quality than microwave popcorn, I think. And my coffee, of course, is a little bit better than gas station coffee. So maybe there's the difference, but it does kind of crack me up a little bit. It always amazes me how few people come out here. It's this big, beautiful parking area. Safe, it's clean, it's got this amazing view, and yet nobody's ever here. I've been here for a few hours today. I've just been hanging out, and hardly anybody has shown up here. Just an odd car or two. Just incredible to me. Well, I hope I've encouraged you to make some popcorn for yourself and not just throw a pack into the microwave. I know the microwave seems like a quick and easy way to make popcorn, but making it on the stove is just really easy and it tastes so much better, I think anyway, so it's worth it. And you don't have to buy the fancy stuff like I was using here today. I actually prefer Trader Joe's popcorn over all the ones that I've tried. It's the least expensive, about a fraction of the price of this heirloom stuff that I was eating here today. And it pops up really good. You get very few unpopped kernels. So in my opinion, Trader Joe's is the way to go. But when I'm around Humboldt here, there's no Trader Joe's in the area. I think it'd be about a 4-hour drive to pick some up. So that's why I'm eating the heirloom stuff right now. But whatever popcorn you want to make, I think it's all pretty good now. I couldn't have said that a few years ago, but I'm eating it and enjoying it now. But I should just point out that there is one drawback to popping your own popcorn, and that is that you do have a mess to clean up. With all the butter, you got to scrub out your pot in your bowl. So, it's not perfectly easy, and I guess that's maybe why most people just toss a bag into the microwave and be done with it. But, it tastes so much better doing it this way. So please, stop buying microwave popcorn. Or please don't listen to a word I say. Take either one. Take either one. And with that, I think I need to get to my dishes here and take off because I've been here for a while. So it's time to go. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.